Hey, it's JR, and here we are inside the bus. I'm like, if you've ever been in a tour bus, this is it. And actually, this is pretty nice. Tegan and Sara, they are here.
Hi. Hi.
Very nice.
It is a nice bus. We hear that it's a nice bus often. I think a lot of tour buses are actually fairly similar, but I think that we're just really organized and clean, and we're kind of like neat freaks, and so our bus seems unusually nice, but I think most buses are relatively similar, although some people really deck out their buses, like they personalize them. Like we toured with Neil Young, and his bus is custom made.
Right.
So, but ours is not custom, it just comes like this, but we are kind of neat freaks. I mean, you spend like a good part of your life on these buses, so you want to be comfortable and, you know.
And here's the amazing part. They're clean freaks. We had to take off our shoes because this is their home, so this is like home rules. So yeah, I mean, like the last tour bus I was on was probably with Hot Shell Ray, and they're a bunch of guys.
Sounds like
and you went in there, and it was like a, well, I wouldn't say it's a locker room or anything like that, but it's like, okay, you know.
We've also seen some very messy tour buses. I mean, to be honest, for a lot of years when we were touring, I mean, we obviously have made transitions over the last 14 years. We went from touring, we literally used to take the Greyhound bus from show to show.
Wow.
And then we moved up to cars, and then minivans, and then a van with a trailer, and then 15 passenger van, and then, you know, there's all these natural steps that happen when you're touring like we were back in the day. In about 2005, we actually started touring in tour buses, but we would often share the tour bus with our support band, so there would just be, I mean, it would be rammed on these buses. You can get up to 14 people sleeping in them. I mean, we're just 5 people, 2 more over here. I mean, you can imagine as you start to accumulate bodies, you've got bags and shoes and junk and stuff and clutter, and I think that one of the greatest luxuries now, like one of the greatest privileges of being at the level we're at, is that we can just have this bus to ourselves.
Right.
So our band and crew are on the bus, the other bus, and they sort of live in a way that maybe feels a little bit more natural to them. You know, they're not as hard.
Like not taking your shoes off.
Well, they do take their shoes off there too.
Right.
You know, I think that's a fairly general rule with most people's buses, just because you don't want to track in like just straight up, you don't want to track in like mud and poop and stuff. I mean, it's just harder to clean in here. But a lot of it's carpet, you know. So, but this is like a wonderful luxury for us to have like a very quiet and private place for us to go back to, and we're the bosses, and so sometimes, you know, to be away from the band and crew allows them to sort of loosen up and be able to be more comfortable and not feel like we're like standing there telling them to put their stuff in their bunk or whatever. So it's a nice environment for us to hang out in.
So it works.
It really works well. It allows us to sort of regenerate every day and get ready for the show and that sort of thing.
So how long would it take for you to regenerate? Like you're doing tonight's show, where are you guys at tomorrow?
We play in Raleigh tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, this record for us, because it's just been so much bigger for us, it's just really busy. I mean, on an average day, we do a couple meet and greets, and we visit a radio station and play and do a show, and then drive, you know, anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. So it's a lot. We've had a few 7 in a rows on this tour, like, so it's quite busy. So
this week has felt so easy just because we've had 2 days off, which was huge for us.
Which has been really nice. But it's really different depending on what we're up to, but I feel like a good night's sleep can make all the difference. We had a day off yesterday, and I feel like back to normal, but it really depends. I was just speaking with some of the guys in Fun, and they were saying what a toll this is taking physically on them for this tour, because it's a huge stage, and they have ramps, and they're running and jumping up and down, and we're lucky. Sara and I are more restricted because we play guitar and sing, so we don't get to do the running around and jumping. Thank God. Like, it's such a relief. I watch them on stage right now, and I'm like, that is exhausting. So I think for a band like them, and a lot of big bands, you know, you get to a level where you can only play maybe 3 or 4 shows a week max, because it's a really taxing lifestyle in terms of your body and sleeping on the bus and all the rest of it. So we're lucky. We're a little more stationary, so we can handle more.
Cool. You guys have any questions?
What do you guys do to make yourselves relaxed when you have off?
Oh my God. I mean, you know, the usual thing. I think we're really normal. I mean, sometimes I think, you know, that's probably part of what helps us connect to the audience that we've built over the years, is that I think that, I mean, we do this job, and that sort of sets us apart from a lot of people, because this lifestyle I recognize is very different than most people's lifestyle. But when we're home, we're just like normal people. I mean, I watch a lot of TV and go see movies, and I love to have dinner with friends, and I read a lot, and I jog. I mean, on the road when we want to chill out, like tonight, I'm already looking forward to finishing our set, have a couple glasses of wine, chat with the band, watch fun play. And we're just, you know, we live really normal lifestyles. Yeah.
Probably with being on the road, you guys Skype a lot with your friends.
You know,
back
you'd
home.
be surprised at how bad the internet is on a regular basis.
Oh, really?
I think we actually probably Skype less than when I'm at home and I can like really sit down and make dates to do that. You know?
Well, it's also after so many years like of touring, there's this learn how to have long distance relationships, and I think the key to a good, healthy long distance relationship is not over communicating when you're on the road. Most of our day is spent doing really boring things, and so if I call you every 20 minutes and I'm like, and now I'm doing nothing, and now I'm still sitting here doing nothing,
and
then
then
later
that
I'll
person's
be
like,
doing
I'm
nothing.
working.
Exactly.
You're calling me again.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, but certainly, oh my goodness, like compared to how when we started touring in 1998, no cell phones, no laptops, like no high-speed internet connections. We used to pull over the side of the road to truck stops and we'd call my mom and tell her we were live, and then she'd pass the news around to everyone. So things have changed a lot. Like these days, you'd be surprised at how easy it feels to be away from your family and friends and partners. Not that it's easy in a good way, but like, you can stay in touch. You can still feel really, you know, close. And I think that we take that for granted. But back in the day, it was so much harder. Oh my God, when we used to get ready to go for tours, I would weep like a baby. I would be like, oh, I don't want to go. And then now I'm just like, oh, we're going on the road again.
Yeah.
But it's not that different. You know, we've become very nomadic and very good at balancing all that.
So what's your favorite TV show?
Well, tonight we have the season finale of Ray Donovan to watch.
Okay.
It's a Showtime show. Yeah.
We
really
watch
good.
I sometimes almost
watch
feel
a lot of TV.
embarrassed by how much TV we watch. But it's actually that transition from, you know, where you had to sort of be at the same place at the right time to watch TV, you know, at home. That's completely changed. Like being able to stream television, being able to buy it online.
What do you like though? Like
yeah, like it's just, and be able to watch it whenever. I mean, that makes our lives. I mean, we're really entertained. We watch it on like flights to Europe, or you know, nights where we have big long drives and you don't get to talk to your friends on the phone, or you don't, you know, you're sort of isolated here. It's so nice to just binge watch a TV show. I mean, I've done like entire seasons over a day and a half, you know, and just had the time to do it. And I try to make sure that I balance my television watching with doing other important things like catching up on the news or reading books.
Right.
But I have to admit that being able to access entire seasons or multiple seasons of television shows has made touring a little bit more manageable, for sure.
And you mentioned Ray Donovan show on Showtime. Were you Dexter fans? What do you think about the series finale?
I haven't seen the season finale yet, or series finale yet. I know, so don't ruin it for me. I'm also just starting Breaking Bad. I'm like really behind on some of the popular shows right now, but
I'm really excited that on Showtime that I mean, there's so many good shows actually between Showtime and HBO. It's like, oh my God, it's so crazy. I'm really excited about the return of Homeland, just from the start. We're big fans of Nashville. I think that's a great,
I love that show.
like a great show. It's really
got to come back tomorrow.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, it's a bit of a soap opera in the best kind of way. Like, you know, it has all that little like sort of tantalizing gossip.
But then it's got all the great music.
Yeah,
to balance it out.
I'm like amazed every week. You know, there's like maybe only like 2 songs that I didn't like on the whole season.
It's too bad though, because T-Bone Burnett is not doing this season.
Oh right. Well, but you know, the songwriters that were hit up for the original material. I mean, some of it is just remarkable.
It is really amazing.
As a musician, I watched the show and was like, just I can't even think of a show like it where the music is so. And for me, I'm always like, oh, musical number, get off the screen, fast forward. And in a weird way, I almost watch Nashville for the music.
It's like one of the
great.
main reasons.
It's so great.
It's really good.
Yeah. What kind of music are you into right now? Like any particular songs or band?
I was just talking earlier and saying that after I saw Drake perform at the VMAs, like everybody was like, you don't listen to Drake? Oh my God, you have to get into Drake. So I was like, fine, God, like, I mean, I'm not listening to him. I just not necessarily like, you know, like I don't know. I never buy any music anymore anyway. But anyway, so I pre-ordered that record and bought the Coming Home single or whatever and watched the video today and was like, I'm old because I was like, this is shocking. Women in lingerie, guns, and violence, and I was like, we had a very long discussion backstage about like how people can be outraged about nudity, like when women, like Miley Cyrus for instance, like all the nudity, but then Drake puts out a video and the woman he's saving is in lingerie the whole time, so I don't know. Videos are very racy. I was actually having an online back and forth today with another artist who was joking and saying no matter how hard she tries, her Tumblr account looks like a child's because it's all like puppies and kitties and Pokemon, and I was like, that's like our Instagram account. Everybody's like posting selfies of their boobs and their bathing suits, and we're like, fan art, stuffed animals, and I'm like, we're like children still in some way, but I think it's just that line, you know. So anyway, I don't listen to a ton of like current music, but recently, like, I have been really digging like new singles by Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus and Drake.
So you like Miley Cyrus?
I think I'm embracing the mainstream. I think I'm curious by it. I don't know. Like, I think the songwriting in a lot of these cases is really good. Like, I don't know that I necessarily
it's about
relate
balancing.
to.
It's about balancing, which
I don't know if I always
do.
necessarily relate to the content of the videos and the photo shoots and the kind of crazy images and the big stage shows and all the rest of it. But I think as an artist, I'm always listening to music, and there's something I've always felt like I was very clear on this, that like even though we were always in the indie rock music scene, I didn't want to ever be a snob. Like, to me, a great song is a great song. You can't you can't say a great song that has sold 30 million like singles is terrible just because it's popular. I think that's ignorant. So when people are like, oh, you hate that new whatever it is that's being played everywhere, I try to keep perspective that just because we've heard it so many times, maybe that's why we don't like it, but is it still at its core a great song? And I think there's so much interesting stuff on pop music right now. I think I have to tune out some of the marketing around it because it seems too crazy and a little wild for my Canadian senses. But then there's lots of really awesome indie rock stuff that's coming out, like this band from Canada called Diana and another band called Astra, both female fronted. Just amazing, like kind of merging a lot of what's happening in pop music right now with a lot of the underground sort of indie, like electronic music and sort of avant-garde scenes, and yeah, just with like really progressive, awesome front women, and so lots of girls lately.
So final thoughts? Well, what do you guys think about the bus? See, not only do they have one.
Well, yeah, because when you're sitting here, you can't really watch it, so you have to watch it.
They have two TVs in here.
Yeah, and all the bunks, they don't have their own TVs, but in all of the sleeping bunks, you can pull down, there's like a TV in there that plays the television, whatever channel's on here,
right.
you can watch. So sometimes, the other night I put Roseanne on, and we all got into our bunks and watched Roseanne, so it's pretty good.
In a way, the bus is like a funny thing, because when people come on it and stay overnight, you know, like family, friends, you sort of end up demystifying it all, because it really just, I mean, the look is very common. Jeremy and Tegan and I, we have people out on the bus all the time because we have all these extra bunks. Almost every single person that stays on the bus has the same look when they wake up in the morning. Like, you come out here and you're like, you have a good sleep, and they just look tired. You know, like, I mean, it's like you're sleeping in a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
You're kind of bumping around trying to brush your teeth and eat something. And there's been some nights on this tour where I was like, we should set the GoPro up in one of our bunks, because like I've like bumped around, like flown like around in my bunk.
Right.
It's like people don't realize. Like, I'll say sometimes like, oh, I got 10 hours of sleep last night, but that's probably like 3 hours of sleep, and then the rest of the time just like being thrown around and hitting the rumble strips. And every time you hit the rumble strips, you wake up and you're like, this is it, we're gonna die.
It's like, stay on the road, stay on the road.
It's really nerve-wracking.
It's a little less glamorous than people imagine. It's still probably
really nice.
The best way to travel for a band like ours.
Considering.
It's the best way to travel, because you really do get some rest, and it is safe. But yeah, it's maybe not as glamorous as people imagine.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for coming and visiting us.
Can I have a picture of
Yeah, let's do it.